As you saw from the title, Flume styled beat, kind of. Flume is an incredibly talented producer from Australia that I'm guessing needs no introduction because you clicked on this video. I did base this song loosely on the Hi, This is Flume mixtape from 2019, which honestly sounds as fresh as if it was released today. However, you should know that just pushing a few buttons here and there, it won't make you flume, and it won't make me flume. There is no magic button, is what I'm trying to say. But that's exactly why this is a nice exercise. The idea with these videos is not to make exact replicas, but rather try to understand how these producers might approach making music in different ways and what we can learn from those ways and apply to our own music. Before the actual project, I wanted to cover this very briefly, but don't worry, there are chapters down below so you can skip whatever section you want. Metallic snares, they are all over this project, and you might associate that type of sound also to another producer, the late great SOPHIE, rest in peace. I wanted to show one of the ways in which you can achieve similar sounds in Ableton. Flume, you can tell he loves experimenting. He loves to sample, resample, break apart, glue together, and that's a lot of fun. I just wanted to show you like a very quick chain of effects that I did to make some snares. Again, this is just one of the ways in which you can achieve similar sounds, at least in Ableton, using only Ableton stock things. And this sample from Sample Focus is a vintage Roland snare. You can use a flanger with very little time. The idea here is to resample this. We are interested in the feedback. It's got that metallic feeling, so we can combine that with delay and also use a ton of feedback. Then grain delay with these settings, some EQ, drum bass, hybrid reverb. And depending on the settings, we can change the sound completely. Yeah, maybe this reverb is a lot. But it's just to show that this is super fun. I spent like 3 hours just absolutely focused on this. But in the case that you're very lazy, I do have a solution for you, which is
samplefocus.com.
And I actually ended up using a combination of my own metallic sounds and some snares from Sample Focus that were a lot better than mine. All of the drum sounds that I'm gonna use, apart from a couple of these metallic snares, are from samplefocus.com. You can see that I have this song broken down in sections: intro, build up, drop, bridge, outro. I tend to start with a drum pattern because I kind of use it as a metronome, so I can lay down some melodic ideas on top of. This is my first drum pattern. I have some minimum amount of makeup and some drum bass. It sounds kind of aggressive and very compressed, but it's a cheap way of making the drums sound a little bit bigger without having to be doing, you know, crazy mixing stuff. This is not a mixing video, just so you know. Then again, if you listen to this mixtape that I'm loosely basing this on, it does sound like compressed as fuck. So once I had my drum loop, my first chord progression, I tried like 3 different progressions before this one. None of them sounded like Flume. And in that process, you learn stuff. This is the sound. It's called Analog Soft Pad. It's very beautiful. I don't know what chords are these because I am not trained in music theory, but you can kind of see is F sharp, A sharp, and F. These are the root notes, and then on top of that, I built these chords. You can see here. If you want to copy this progression, be my guest. I added another preset from Wavetable called Airlight. One is slightly panned to the right, one is slightly panned to the left. Some stereo business going on. After that, I got this bass preset, blurred bass. It's like a Reese bass. What I did is just copy the root notes that I showed you. And the last thing are these vocals. There is a lot of effects going on. These vocals I got from Sample Focus, very different to what I ended up doing.
Yeah, I like it when the bass drops. Yeah, I love it. You give me all you got.
This is what I used.
All you got.
Lower the pitch 3 semitones, warp this on texture mode,
All you got.
and basically played with this. So one of these, I just increase 1 semitone.
All you got. All you got. All you got. All you
And then go back to -3 semitones. From to
got. All you got. All you got. you got.
That's what's happening here. And then I started to go kind of crazy with the effects. First is auto shift. This is from Ableton 12.1. I wasn't trying to get auto tune, but as you can tell, there is something happening with the form and shift. Form and shifting is basically this parameter here. That kind of changes the way the vocal sounds. In the auto shift, we have an integrated LFO, basically a way to give movement to some of these parameters. And if we activate the LFO, we can determine at what speed we want this movement to happen. And here we can choose where do we want to send these modulations: pitch, format, volume, pan. So if we go 100% format, this is doing like something like this. It sucks that we don't have like a visual representation of what is happening with the movement. It gives some more character to the vocals and makes them sound a little bit less conventional. And then I started to make automations of different effects on and off for different parts. This is reverb, so I'm going to re-enable this automation. It's a hybrid reverb preset called Kiss Bastille. You can just tweak this to your liking. And I did the same with this shifter. The shifter kind of changes the pitch. That's the sound. It's very weird. I don't know. I forgot to show the automations, but this is, for example, the reverb. I tried to do it somewhat randomly and then duplicate that for the whole song. Then we got this delay downshift, spectral time. That's the sound. It has like this feedback thing. EQ, because with all of these weird effects, I was generating a lot of unwanted low frequencies, and then some sidechain compression to the kick. That's the vocals. We have the complete intro now. Drums, chords, bass, and vocals. So now comes the build up for the drop. Very basic. The vocals, I have this filter, and the filter takes action here right before. The frequency from the filter goes down. I made a new bass pattern, and I went kind of by feeling. I wanted like something going up slowly, and I ended up with these notes. This white noise to, you know, emphasize the change from this to this, because it's suddenly empty without the drums. So it's like, and then the same white noise but reversed, slowly increasing. And I added this gate, which is just the auto pan with the phase all the way up, and then an automation for the rate also going up. It's just a cool effect. Instead of having the traditional riser, we have like a much cooler one. And then I played this melody with Surge VST, one of the few instances that I used an external VST, but it's free. It has really cool sounds, some chorus, some reverb. You can see I made an automation of the pitch going down. These are fills that I made just for the drop. So when the riser cuts, these are the metallic snares. So this is from Sample Focus, which is amazing. And this is one of my metallic snares, which kind of sucks. All of them combined. This is from a glitchy loop. Nothing fancy, and this is just epic fill. I just chopped it up. This combined with the toms. Sounds cool. I like these dramatic silences. It's more comfortable to do this in arrangement view because we can just cut anything we want. And if we have any sound that has a lot of release, like this melody, what I do is just make an automation of the mute to cut this. And then we got these two are part of the drop chords. So this is the build up and the drop. Let's hear it all together so I don't break the momentum, and then we break down the drop. You can do Alt U to close and open all of the channels. I think it sounds pretty cool. I like it. These are the chords from the intro. I'm gonna paste them in this new sound. While I'll tell you about this new sound, it's called Evolution. It's a preset from Wavetable and nothing else apparently. I didn't even add EQ to this. These are the chords from the intro. So what I did, kind of like double speed. So it's like... These are the same chords, and then I only changed this one, and I think I just grabbed this and moved it a few semitones down, the whole chord, to get that one. Here we got dun dun, and then we got... They are different, and that adds some unpredictability. This also is slightly panned to the right because we got another synth slightly panned to the left. Super nice. This is from Search. It's called Melon, and the two combined sounds super full. The difference. I started to do some resampling here, recorded one of these chords into audio, and then I did double time, texture mode, so we get this sound. Another gate thing and grain delay. Without that, it sounds like this. Gate, grain delay. Then the same chord basically, but with an arpeggiator, and this sound called mouse pluck. It's just for this part, doesn't come back. And I resampled the arp just to have like the first note and do this effect. So we get some anticipation. It changes a lot. And then that is combined, for example, with some percussion things. The arp goes along with this hat loop just to add some more textures. And also we got the whole glitchy thing from before. Remember that? Before the drop. It's basically the same sounds but used in a different way. So it's kind of a mess by itself, but with the song it makes sense. We also have like a snare backwards. All of this adds up, so we get... Let's keep going because that was kind of like the most difficult thing to break down. We got a new drum pattern, so the snares come into play now, some hi-hats. These drums are way too compressed, but it's okay, it's just a demonstration. For some reason I decided to add this stomp for some of the kicks. I'm not sure if it's doing too much or not. So in those cases, it's probably not. Then I noticed Flume does use a lot of crash sounds. I never think about crash as a sound that I need to use on my songs, but it does add like this whoosh. So then this same loop from before, the hi-hat loop, I just use it randomly. The glitchy sounds and these reverse snares. And I think those are the drums. The vocals stay the same. The only change is one of these gates only turns on in this section. It's a nice effect. Phase all the way up. For a brief moment like this, it sounds perfect. Then the other bass, because like I said, this bass is kind of not very powerful. I added this sub, which is a preset from Ableton called 808 Pure Overdrive, just to reinforce those lows. And the two combined. Also a pretty good match. Even if you're working with presets and you don't want to make sounds from scratch, it is nice to take some time to combine the perfect sounds and layer some. If one sound is lacking certain frequencies, try to find those from another sound and make them be friends. Pretty much that's the drop. When I first made the drop, I was trying all sorts of different things. It's not like I made this first try. After this drop, there is like a bridge. It's the same bass line from the build up. Remember that the one that goes up? But I made some chords for that, which are not great. But at this point, the song was pretty much done, at least for the video. But I wanted to have something after the drop so it doesn't end super abruptly. And I like what I did here with the vocals. Chop them up. Just grabbed different parts and started to do this. And I just duplicated this. Another ARP sound, which is water plug with these new chords that I told you. I had a sidechain to the kick for the chords, but I turned it off while I was showing everything, so I forgot to turn it on. And we could add a sidechain for the snare. For this outro, I just went again with the same chords from the beginning and used all of the synths together, the bass line from the beginning, and these drums kind of the same as the drop. You know, just to finish the song. And that's it. It did took me a while, this one, because I had to try a lot of different things. A lot of stuff didn't work, and I still don't think this sounds exactly like Flume, but it doesn't sound like anything I would ever do by myself. I guess that proves what I said at the beginning. These exercises are nice ways to learn new ways of doing things. It's fun. I'm gonna play this in just a second, the whole thing, so you can listen to it. I really hope this was helpful to you in any way. If it was, we appreciate a lot if you leave a comment, if you subscribe, if you like the video. Those things help the channel grow and get these videos to more people like you. 99% of the samples that I use for my drums are from samplefocus.com. You get 3 credits every week to download any 3 samples that you want. And if you run out of those credits, you can get more by uploading your own samples. It's a win-win. You share your sounds and you get some sounds from other people. Most of the time when I need a specific sound, I go to Sample Focus and it's already there. I can't recommend it enough as a producer myself. Hope you like this video. Bye.